All right, welcome back. So we're going to try this one. Oh, sorry, had that keyed up. Now for this one, there's two things going on. We've got this x minus 1 squared, and we have this x squared plus 1. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our integrand, and again, we're going to try to apply this partial fractions. Okay, we're going to write this as, now, because of the x minus 1 squared, we're going to need an x minus 1 term and an x minus 1 squared term. Okay? Write that a little better. Plus, now this x squared plus 1, when we have something like that, we're going to need a cx plus d term in the numerator. Okay, so this is what the proper partial fraction decomposition will look like. Okay, now we're going to do the same. We're going to do the same thing that we were doing before. We're going to pretend to do this. Now, the common denominator is x minus 1 squared x squared plus 1. Sort of what you need to be keeping in mind. Okay, so when we do it, we're just going to keep the numerator. X squared minus 2x minus 1 equals a times. Now, a already has an x minus 1, but we need two of them. So we're going to have x minus 1, x squared plus 1, plus b. Now, b already has an x minus 1 squared, so we're going to need that x squared plus 1. Plus, now the cx plus d, that already has an x squared plus 1. So what's it going to need? But an x minus 1 squared. Now I'm going to write x minus 1 squared, just sort of anticipating, in this way. Okay? Now, we are going to start, again, remember this is x minus 1 squared, by picking a value of x that'll get rid of a lot of stuff. Well, if I pick x equals 1, this is going to be 0, and this is going to be 0, right? So let's start with x equals 1. X equals 1 is going to give me 1 minus 2 is negative 1, minus 1 is negative 2. On the right-hand side, I'm going to get 2b. So b equals negative 1. Now, I've already done this one earlier, and I made a mistake, so I just want to make sure that I'm on the right track. Okay, that looks good. Okay. Let's do, now, no other x values are going to really get rid of anything. So what we need to do now is we need to start matching. That's why I taught both ways, because you do it sometimes and just need to match. Let's start with matching x cubes, because notice when I multiply this by this and this by this, we're going to get x cubed terms. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we are getting 0. There's no x cubed term there. Okay, but on the right-hand side, we're going to get a plus c. All right. X squared terms, let's match x squared. We get 1 on the left-hand side because there's 1x squared there. Now, what do we get on the right-hand side? Well, we multiply this is going to be a times negative 1 times x squared, so we get negative a plus b, that's from this, but remember b is -1. And then here we're going to get d minus 2c. Let's write it as minus 2c plus d. Reason is because I'm going to be particular about alphabetical order with myself. Okay? C, okay? All right, that's the x squared. All right, nothing really great going on here yet. Let's do x powers. Well, we're going to get, coefficients. -2 on the left-hand side, right? -2x here. What are we going to get from the right-hand side? Well, we're going to get ax times 1. So a. No b's here. -2c. Sorry. C minus 2d. Okay. And then finally, constants. -1 here on this side. And on the right-hand side, -a plus b, and then plus d. All right. Okay, now let's see if we can do any solutions. Okay. Now, one thing we note, because a plus c is 0, well, c is -a. All right. And b equals -1. So let's go into, we can go into either here or here. Okay, let's go into here. Okay, so we're going to get, well, a plus c is 0, so -2 equals -2d. Or d equals 1. Okay, now I can solve this with that. Let me do it in an orange color. B is -1, D is 1, so A equals 1. Well, if A equals 1, then C equals -1. Okay, let me just check and make sure I got all those right. I'd hate to have to do that again. Okay. All right, well, it at least agrees with what I had the last time I did this problem a couple years ago. Okay, so now our integral becomes, remember, we're integrating a, okay, we're doing it this way. Okay, so we're getting, now we're going back to blue. A, which is 1 over x minus 1, plus b, which is -1 over x minus 1 squared. Cx plus d is going to be -x plus 1 over x squared plus 1 dx. Okay, so this is straightforward natural log. This is straightforward power rule. X over x squared plus 1, you can do a substitution. And 1 over x squared plus 1 is an arctan. Okay, so All of these are integrals that you know how to do. Okay? All right, I'll see y'all in the next video.